Okay, everyone, today we're going to revisit two tenses you already know, the present simple and the present continuous, but this time we're going to study them at a deeper level. At B2, it's not enough to know the forms. You also need to understand the subtle differences in meaning, usage, tone, and context that native speakers use naturally. Let's begin with the present simple form. Structurally, it's very straightforward. In positive sentences, we use the base verb I play, you play, we play, they play. In the third person, singular, he, she, it, we add s, she plays, he plays, it plays. In negative sentences, we use do not, does not plus base verb, usually contracted in spoken English. I don't play, she doesn't play. For questions, we invert, using do, does. Do you play? Does she play? Short answers repeat the auxiliary. Yes, I do. No, she doesn't. Now, in terms of meaning, the present simple is primarily used for general truths, permanent situations, and repeated actions. For example, the sun rises in the east. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. These are scientific or universal facts, so they require present simple. We also use it for habits and routines. I go fishing every weekend. Lily takes ballet classes twice a week. Notice the frequent use of adverbs of frequency, such as usually, often, always, rarely, sometimes. At B2 level, you should also recognize that the present simple is used for states rather than actions, especially with stative verbs like know, believe, understand, prefer, belong, own. For example, I understand the problem. They believe you. These verbs normally do not appear in continuous forms because they describe states, not actions. Another advanced use of the present simple is for scheduled future events, especially official timetables. For example, the film starts at 9 tomorrow. The train leaves at 8 Sreghao. She has her driving test next week. Even though these refer to the future, we use present simple because the event is fixed and scheduled, not just planned. Now let's move to the present continuous, which is formed using am, is, and jiao, are plus verb ing. For example, I am playing, they are playing. In natural spoken English, contractions are extremely common. I'm playing, they're playing. Negatives are formed with not, I'm not playing, she isn't playing, they aren't playing. Questions are formed by inversion. Are you playing? Is she playing? The present continuous is mainly used for actions happening now or around the current time. For example, Sophie is taking a shower now. Sue is talking on the phone. I'm driving at the moment. These actions are temporary and in progress. However, at B2 level, it's essential to understand that now doesn't always mean this exact second. The present continuous can describe temporary situations or trends. For example, I'm currently reading a book about World War II. These are temporary states, not permanent ones. We also use the present continuous for future arrangements that are definite and organized, especially when there is already a plan or arrangement. For example, we're going to the beach next weekend. These sentences imply that the arrangement is fixed. Now let's compare the two tenses more analytically, which is essential at B2 level. The contrast is often about permanence versus temporariness, or habit versus current action. For example, she lives in Madrid means it's her permanent home. She's living in Madrid this month means it's temporary. Similarly, he plays tennis describes a regular activity. He's playing tennis describes something happening now. Another important distinction is stylistic. Native speakers sometimes use the present continuous to describe changing or developing situations, especially trends. For example, more people are using electric cars. Prices are rising. This use emphasizes change and development. Let's also connect these tenses to the sports vocabulary you're learning, since real contexts help grammar stick. For example, using present simple for habits. They practice martial arts. The coach guides the team. The athlete breaks records. Using present continuous for current action. She's gripping the bar tightly. They're cheering enthusiastically. One final advanced point. Some verbs can appear in both tenses, but with different meanings. For example, I think you're right, opinion, stative, versus I'm thinking about the problem, mental activity in progress. Or, I have a car, possession, versus I'm having lunch, activity. Understanding these subtle meaning differences is a key B2 skill. So, to summarize clearly, the present simple is used for facts, routines, permanent states, and scheduled events, while the present continuous is used for actions in progress, temporary situations, changing trends, and fixed future arrangements. The real mastery at B2 level comes from recognizing the speaker's intention. Are they describing something permanent or something temporary and evolving?